Hey gang, and welcome back. These videos are brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your unused collection fast and easily. 401 Games, Canada's top shop for all your hobby and TCG needs. Dragon Shield, the strongest sleeves for your strongest decks. Moxfield, the easiest way to store and share your deck lists. And Foil Armor, flatten your foils fast. Eric wins the die roll and starts us off. Unfortunately, he completely ruins the theme of the game by playing a 2-color deck, and he plays a tap-fetid pools and passes. Desmond draws, plays a swamp, and ships it. Josh has a swamp as well, and passes. Kuzno draws, and you're right, he plays a swamp and ships it. Eric plays a tapped Cryptid Agademe. Desmond's turn has him playing a swamp, and paying 2 mana for a Bitter Blossom. Josh draws and plays a swamp as well. He pays 2 black for Sign in Blood and targets himself, losing 2 and drawing 2. Kuzno's turn has him playing a swamp, and then paying 2 for an Arcane Signet. Once the mana rock is out, he taps it for a Basilisk Collar. Eric plays an untapped Drowned Catacombs, and casts his first Relentless Rats of the game, and passes to Desmond. Desmond loses a life on his upkeep, making a fairy token to the Bitter Blossom, and draws. He plays a swamp, and then casts a Talisman of Nurgle. Josh has got a swamp, and casts Kuromonix. He unfortunately whiffs on finding a rat though, and has to pass. Kuzno's turn has him playing a swamp, and casts an early turn 3 Vincent, and passes. Eric's got a swamp, and casts Vren. He then swings the Relentless Rats at Kuzno. This has Kuzno taking 2, and Eric passing turn. Desmond loses 1 on his upkeep to make a fairy, draws for turn, and then plays a swamp. He casts Yawgmoth, and once he's out, sacrifices a fairy to put a -1/-1 counter onto Kuromonix and draws a card. With the creature getting taken out, Eric gets to make a rat token with Vren, and Desmond then moves to his end step. He draws a card and loses a life off the Talisman and passes to Josh. Josh's turn has him playing a swamp and casting Lord Skitter's Butcher. He passes after it resolves. Kuzno plays a swamp and casts a Withering Torment on Vren, paying for the ward cost. With Vren getting taken out, Vincent gets 3 counters finally, and Kuzno then passes turn. Eric's got an island and casts a Twisted Sewer Witch. He makes a rat token, and then for each rat token creates a Wicked roll and attaches it to it. Desmond once more loses 1 and makes a fairy, draws, and then plays a Cabal Coffers. He then casts Massacre Girl, Known Killer, and follows up with Bloodghast. Once the Bloodghast is out, he sacrifices it to Yawgmoth to put a -1/-1 counter onto Vincent, but Vincent actually gains a counter because Bloodghast has 2 power. Desmond then moves to his end step, drawing from the Talisman, and Josh uses this as a chance to cast Tragic Slip and targets Vincent to take him out. Josh plays a swamp and pays 5 for Painful Quandary. Kuzno's turn has him playing a swamp as well, and then pays 5 for Revel in Riches, choosing to take 5 from the Quandary trigger and passes to Eric. Eric draws and plays a Shipwreck Marsh, and then replays Vren, discarding a card to the Quandary trigger. He then sends a rat token at Josh. Josh blocks with Lord Skitter's Butcher, and everyone takes 1 from the Wicked roll, and Kuzno gets a treasure as the rat token hits the graveyard. Eric then passes turn. Yet again, Desmond makes a fairy, loses 1, draws, and plays a swamp, which this time around gets back Bloodghast. He then casts a Black Market, and loses 5 to the Quandary trigger. He passes after that. Josh draws, and in his main phase, sacrifices a rat token to cast Deadly Dispute, drawing 2 more. He then casts Infernal Grasp and targets Vren, paying for the ward cost. This has him losing 2 as Vren gets taken out, and Kuzno gets another treasure token from the Revel in Riches. Josh then passes turn. Kuzno's got a Swiftfoot Boots for turn, losing 5 to the Quandary. He then plays Braids, Cabal Minion, and discards a card this time around. He then sacrifices a treasure token to equip Braids with the Swiftfoot Boots. With that on the stack, Desmond responds by sacrificing Bloodghast and a fairy token to Yawgmoth to take out Braids. Kuzno gets 2 more treasure tokens, and Desmond gets 3 counters onto his black market as a result. After that, Kuzno passes. Eric draws and plays out a Watery Grave tapped, and then casts a Relentless Rats, discarding a card to the Quandary trigger. He then casts another Relentless Rats, taking 5 this time, and he goes to combat. He sends a Relentless Rats and a Rat token at Kuzno, who takes the hit for 10. Desmond's upkeep has him making another fairy token and losing 1, and then drawing for turn. He plays Nykthos as his land for turn, and it gets a landfall trigger for the Bloodghast to bring it back. He then casts a Dreadhorde Invasion, discarding a card to the Quandary trigger. Desmond then follows up with a Damnation, discarding another card. With the board wipe on the stack, Desmond holds priority, sacrificing his creatures to Yawgmoth to draw cards, and he then has the board wipe resolve. Once that's done, he casts Cryptghast, and discards another card to the Painful Quandary trigger. Desmond then casts Animate Dead targeting the opposition agent, discarding another card. He's almost done, wrapping up his turn by casting a Grim Tutor and extorting it while losing some life to go tutor for a card to hand, which we immediately see with a Withering Torment to take out Revel in Riches, and discarding a card. He then passes turn. Josh just draws, plays a Swamp, and casts an Ogre Slumlord. Kuzno draws and is sad that he's not going to win with Revel in Witches on his upkeep, and instead casts Vincent in his main phase, discarding a card to it. He then equips the Swiftfoot Boots onto his commander, and then the Basilisk Collar as well. Kuzno then plays an Accursed Marauder, and everyone sacrifices a creature, with Vincent getting 5+1/+1 counters, and Kuzno having no cards to discard has to take 5 to the face. Going to combat, Kuzno swings Vincent at Eric, and on attack, transforms him, and Eric takes 8, and Kuzno gains 8 from lifelink. With nothing else, he passes. Eric just draws, replays Vren, and passes to Desmond. Desmond makes a fairy token and an army token on his upkeep, losing 2, and he then draws for turn. He gets a bunch of mana from the black market and activates Nykthos and Cabal Coffers to make a ton of mana, dumping it all into a Torment of Hailfire where X is 34, plus he extorts it for 1. He also discards a card to the Painful Quandary trigger. Sadly, no one has enough cards, permanents, or life to survive, and Desmond wins the game. Game review time. Big thanks to everyone for playing a mono black deck except for Eric. Eric, you are the worst. Otherwise, it was pretty cool to have 2 rat decks, 3 mono black decks, and a whole lot of Withering Torment. For that reason alone, I'm calling it the best card of the game because we saw it the most times. It was a quick one, it was aggressive, the Painful Quandary from Josh really added up despite the fact that he didn't cast his commander, and I was really surprised to see how unaggressive most of these decks were, considering Vincent's a very combat-centric deck, Vren is a very combat-centric deck, Yawgmoth is kind of combo-y, but at least plays a lot of creatures that he could have swung with, and yeah, I just was not expecting the outcome of this game, which is big black mana, which, you know, can happen. This video wouldn't be possible without the help from my sponsors, but it definitely wouldn't be possible without the help from you, the viewers, and my patrons. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and to remember, friends are just opponents you haven't eliminated yet.